Hello, 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 and welcome to another live stream by Virtual Flight Diaries. And we are here with the Local Legends 22. One second, just let me get thing. It's the Namek YS-11, a Japanese-produced turboprop from the 1960s. So it's a nice classic aircraft to fly. It's also a default airplane, well, a payware default plane put together by Inibuilds and Asobo Microsoft. And I'm just trying to get my top bar set up. I did remember to this plane in the system. So what are we doing here? Sorry if I'm sniffling, I have a little bit of a cold. Tell me I didn't set this up. Give me 1 second, guys. Apologize for that. All right, that should be working now. Yeah, that looks good. All right, guys. So, yeah, sorry about that. Where was I? Oh, yes. Local Legends 22. We're also in Tokyo, which is part of the World Update 20, which is Japan. So we're going to check that out. Although the weather isn't cooperating, I'll try to remain low on the turnout. She is a slow climber. But why am I in a default plane? Well, because surprisingly, it's not that bad. Now, I'm not going to claim it's any kind of study level fidelity or anything like that. I mean, it is a default type plane, but it does have the 2024 add-ons. We can pull the chocks, we can pull the covers. So let's get on board, let's get fired up, and I'll show you. So it does have a cabin, it does have some interesting aspects to it. So like I said, it's not high fidelity, but it has enough clickable items to actually feel like you're kind of flying an airliner. So it has the Inibuilds EFB, which we're all familiar with. We have the ground attachments that we can toggle through. So we're gonna set up the ground power unit here, and left front door, and the stairs. So what's wrong with it, right? So I'm going to there are some bugs. I'm not gonna lie that this is a perfect plane. There are some bugs, but they're more annoyances than game breakers. So yeah, I'm gonna fly it. We're gonna show it around. We're gonna show it off, and you guys can kind of make that decision here. Does have options. You can go with the classic, which is just VOR, DME. You can put I have the TDS GTN in here, so you could put some modern stuff in, and then you could fly those RNAV approaches. You could do some VATSIM stuff. It's pretty solid with that. You also got the PMS version, if you don't have that expensive TDS version, and you could also get the default 430 in here, and it integrates quite well. But we are VOR because, well, I like classic flying. And if anyone's seen my DC3 streams, and we did a couple 727 streams where we were VOR only. So why not do that here? So one of the things I noticed, it doesn't pick up any kind of VORTAC TACAN VORs. It has a tendency to just not work with that. I mean, it'll pick up the DME for that, but it won't pick up the VOR. Also, I feel that the VOR is a little more accurate than it should be, a little more precise. It's almost using like GPS logic. So there are a couple of the nuances that are a little more annoyances than actual game breakers. It's a little low res, but I'm okay with that. I know some people would be like, oh my God. And the GPS is a little accurate for the era. This is a 1960s aircraft. It's a little precise, but other than that, it's pretty fun to fly, actually. All right, so let's import the sim brief, get the ground power. We got ground power on. We got our map up. We can do charts. You can link Navigraph to it, or you could do Lido, which is cool for the 2024 guys that don't have the Navigraph subscription. And like I said, there's a cabin, so we're going to check that out in flight. All right, so let's get fueled up with from our OFB. So seats. So we're going full. 58 passengers. Cargo is going to be 1,500 pounds, and fuel. That's actually really good on fuel. All right, let's load that up. Load that up immediately. Not going to use GSX. There is a profile on FlightSimTO, but I haven't quite figured out how to do that one. All right, so just here we're 116.2 is our first VOR. Let's power it up. So we got battery power. Nope, that's over here. Battery power, external power. Get the generators on. And lights all look good. Let's put some integral lighting on at the over panel, the pilot's side, engine instruments. Bring them up. We don't need that. Fasten seatbelt signs could come on. And we'll put all the radios on. That's looking good too. Come around here. We got main booster pump, fuel pump 1 on, main booster pump 2 on. We don't need the transfer pumps, so we have no fuel in those pumps. And we'll put the nav lights on. And that's the setup there. It is a pressurized cabin. It can go up to flight level 230. It's an auto pressurizer like like the DC-3. So as long as we have the dump handle closed, we can put that in auto. So I'm running say intentions with this flight because it's a little more what's the word I'm looking for? Flexible with this older type of flights. These VOR flights where Beyond ATC kind of wants to throw the RNAVs at you. Say Intentions wants to do the same sometimes, and you can't get around it. So if it doesn't jive, it'll end up being just background ATC for our flight. All right, you're going to want to make sure this switch is on. Is the like, if not, we'll just dead reckon it to that first waypoint. All right. So a couple things. So this isn't really a condition other than a fuel control pump, which then also limits the props. So when you push it all the way up here, it's high power. It allows the props to go past 27 degrees, something like that. It was pretty complicated. I did read it. So it limits it to 27 degrees, and then here limits it back to 14 degrees of pitch for cruise. And then you have cutoff where it cuts the fuel off, and then you could feather the propeller there. This is also a limiter. So this is a ground limiter. So it only allows it to go to a maximum of 14 degrees fine. So it'll go between 0 and 14, allowing you to taxi on the ground without it running away on you. It is linked, so if you go full throttle here, this will go full forward to the flight mode. You can also bind it with the toggle spoilers, and that'll come in handy in landing because this is our reverser. So we're going to throw this back. It'll put the pitch to 0, causing full drag on the engines and slowing us down. This thing has incredible short field takeoff performance. It'll take off in 3,000 feet and land in 2,500. So, all right. So passengers' fuel is on board. Ground power is checked out. So we will fire up engine number 2. There is a way. So the original plane had a hotel mode, like the ATR. That's what this switch is. It's not modeled, so you can't put it in hotel. Which I don't know why they couldn't just simple code it, that the prop would stop if this is on, but it's okay. I picked this up for $12 US. All right, so Start Master can come on, and we'll go engine number 2, ignition on. Fire up those Rolls-Royce Dart. A good start on 2. See if we can get a good sounds from inside. So the sounds are okay. They're better than the regular default sounds. The Rolls-Royce Dart, I believe, had a higher pitch to it. All right, so we're going to put this one on. Hold this in for 4 seconds, and we'll fire up engine number 1. There we go. As you guys can see, the sounds are really not bad for the price point. And generally, we get those Asobo quiet, barely audible whisper sounds. I'm going to turn it down for me. All right, 2 good starts. Get the collision light on and taxi light. And we'll shut off the master, shut off that, and close the engine select. 2 good starts, so we'll disconnect the ground power. Close everything up. It's all nice and quiet. All right, that's all closed up. We got some rain bouncing around. So the radar works, as you can see. It's just very, very dim. All right, so let's get our clearance. Tokyo clearance on Nippon 556. Like to pick up our IFR to Kobe.
All Nippon 5856, Tokyo clearance, information Yankee is current, cleared to Kobe. After departure, flight radar vectors Haneda, Tokyo, then as filed. Departure runway 5, initial climb to 7000, departure on 564.
The one word channel, very boring flight flying from Miami to JFK 773. I'm cloud surfing the whole way. Flight level 30 is no views for the flight. Must be hurricane weather. Yeah. Yeah, the whole East Coast is probably socked in.
127.5, squawk 2414,
This one's going to have a lot of clouds too, so unfortunately.
Safe flight, sir.
All right. We have information Yankee, and we're cleared to Kobe. Departure, fly radar vectors, Hotel Mike Echo, then as filed. Departure on runway 5. Initial climb out 7,000. Departure on 119.1. Squawk 4564. All Nippon 556. All right, so 4564. So we'll put that in the transponder here.
All Nippon 556, read back correct. Ground will be on 122.075.
And we'll go over to ground up 122.075, all Nippon 556. All right, so 4564. We will turn you on. So, like I said, I'll try to stay low over the city so we can get a look at that. It's okay, you know. It still have, you still get that photogrammetry bug where things look like it's apocalyptic, but. Here. Oh, there's my pen. And we'll contact ground and get our push and get out of here. Tokyo ground, all Nippon 556, request pushback. So, Say Intentions released their GA injection package to all members.
556, pushback approved, face southeast.
Pushback approved, face southeast, all Nippon 556.
All aircraft information X-ray is now current. QNH 1013.
Taxi in the terminal 3.
I'll use GSX.
Alpha 4, Alpha 3, cross
For,
runway 34 left, then Lima 3, Lima.
Maybe we won't use GSX?
3 and Air 719.
Taxi to holding point runway 16 left via Alpha Bravo 1 Charlie.
Because I started the engines. I wonder if we can do a power back. What do you think, guys? Let's try it. Oh, we don't have reverse. Well, that sucks. Does this have a pushback? Does not. Okay. I know what we can do.
Japan Air 231 ready to taxi.
Japan Air 231, runway 5 taxi via Whiskey Alpha Romeo Delta, Delta 2.
What is that?
Runway 5 taxi via Whiskey Alpha Romeo Delta, Delta 2, Japan Air 231.
Yeah, I don't think I can go forward. Let's try it.
Skymark 7
105, ready to taxi.
Skymark 705, runway 5 taxi via Romeo, Echo 10, Echo Delta Delta 2.
Runway 5 taxi via Romeo, Echo 10, Echo Delta, Delta 2, Skymark 705.
Yay. All right, Tokyo ground, Nippon 556, ready for taxi.
All Nippon 556, runway 5 taxi via Echo Delta Delta 2.
Runway 5, taxi via Echo, Delta, Delta 2, Nippon 556. All right, so we are cleared to taxi. We cleared our spot, even though I goofed up. Started the engines on stand. And GSX doesn't work. I think I could have used, you know what? I could have used say intentions. So if you want, you want to notice if this light goes out, we're actually in high power mode, and
Chop in there, 373.
the plane will run away pretty quick on you.
Papa 10, Lima 3, cross runway 34 left, then Alpha 3, Alpha Romeo, Delta Delta 2.
Runway 5 taxi via Papa 10.
I'm hoping that
Lima
we
3,
can get some
runway 34 left, then Alpha
some
3,
freighter version of this
Romeo,
plane, because this
Delta,
was
Delta
widely
2,
used as a
Japan Air
freighter aircraft.
373.
Also, a nice reusolution livery would be cool. You do some Alaska ops in this thing. Just see how short field it really is.
Ground, Skymark 2, taxi to the ramp.
But it's a fun little plane for the price point, and there's just enough on board to make it interesting.
Then Alpha 10, Whiskey 11, Romeo 1, Mike
It's
1.
really not generally my
Taxi to parking. Cross runway
purview,
34 left, then Alpha 10, Whiskey 11, Romeo 1, Mike 1.
but I do use the DC-3, which is the 40th anniversary edition of the thing, although it's modded with the Duckworks mod, which makes things awesome with it, but because it's the default DC-3 was generally ugh. And being a DC-3 fan, that was not good. But I mean, I've never seen this plane flown, so I don't know how accurate the flight model is. I mean, this is a museum piece, but it feels good. It feels good to fly. It's actually quite
Information Bravo is now current. QNH
quite easy to trim out, so it's not that difficult, and it might be dialed back a little bit, so that the more casual simmer can use it. But this is pretty cool. This is default Tokyo. I believe Tokyo Haneda Airport was one of the
Ground, Japan Air 200, taxi to the gate.
modified ones. With the update.
Japan Air 200, taxi to parking. Cross runway
But
34.
you're going to see some stutters because just like the Brazil add-on, it's pretty intensive frame-wise.
Japan Air 200.
So if you do have a lower-end computer, it might give you problems. I'm at this juncture mid-range anymore. It used to be on the higher end. But I have to wait for next year for my new computer build. Unfortunately, these a couple of the other things that I found out, these are not bindable by any key source. I guess maybe SPAD Next you could get it to work, but as far as Microsoft is, you can't bind them, which is weird considering it's a Microsoft plane. You would think the keybinds would be in the system for it. But I tried everything. I tried binding it to propellers, tried binding it to mixture, tried binding it to condition levers. Nothing worked. So I've just chalked it up as it is unbindable. Pretty cool little bridge crossing here. We got some traffic lined up. This is going to be a little bit of a wait, I think, for takeoff.
Japan Air 265, request push and start.
Japan Air 265. Push and start approved. Face southwest.
Push and start approved, face southwest. Japan Air 265.
Looks like gridlock. Hopefully it's not a glitch. Pilot work.
Japan Air 490, taxi to parking.
Let's put the tower on. I mean, this looks real enough. It doesn't seem like anything's moving.
Contact departure EVA 3223.
Doesn't this look all glitched out?
Japan Air 430, winds 090 at 7, runway 34 left, clear to land.
34 left, cleared to land, Japan Air 430.
Tokyo is a very busy airport, so I guess this is somewhat realistic.
Lufthansa 715, contact departure.
Contact departure 715 Lufthansa, goodbye.
This is going to make for a very boring thing. We're just going to sit here. What's that plane doing? Waiting for that plane to leave.
On Nippon 402, contact ground on 122.075.
Alright, say intentions, that's a little bit of a glitch. They wouldn't be landing planes facing each other. And your routing's all jammed up. So this is released according to them. So that means they think it's good enough. But I guess there's still some bugs.
Delta 295, welcome to Tokyo. Contact ground on 122.075.
Switching ground 122.005. Delta 295, have a good day.
Have to this isn't going to be traffic simulator.
Skymark 300, contact ground on 122.075.
Switching to ground, Skymark 300.
It's unrealistic, but I'm not going to sit here all day. At least not on stream. I probably would attempt to sit here all day if it was
Japan Air
just me.
430, contact ground on 122.075.
Because they're not even calling these planes. These are all Al Nippon aircraft.
Japan Air 490, cross runway 34 left.
Cross runway 34 left, Japan Air 490.
Tokyo Tower, Al Nippon 556, ready for departure 05.
All Nippon 556, Tokyo Tower, runway 05, hold short, you're number 4 behind the 737.
Hold short number 4 for departure, Al Nippon 556.
All Nippon 556, runway 05, hold short, you're number 3 behind the 737.
Holding short for traffic, runway 05, Al Nippon 556. There we go, we cut the line.
Japan Air 687 holding short 05, ready for departure.
Japan Air 687, wind 0909er, runway 05, cleared for takeoff. Safe travels.
05, cleared for takeoff, Japaner 687.
All right, so flaps 15 for takeoff. There's 10, there's 15. Yeah, we would be, I'd have to shut the engine down, and we would be waiting here for probably an hour. So that's why I had to do it, guys. I had to do it. All right.
All Nippon 556, runway 05, winds 0907, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 05, cleared for takeoff. All Nippon 556.
Japan Air 687, contact departure. Safe travels.
Over to departure, Japaner 687.
All right, landing lights off, flaps 15, runway 05 confirmed.
Japaner 519, contact departure.
Contact departure, Japaner 519.
Line her up.
All Nippon 292, contact ground on 122.075.
Switching to ground, all Nippon 292.
All right, clear for takeoff. Let's go. View right. All right, spool them up. High power sets. Press set. The 100 knots, V1 rotate. He's heavy. Positive rate. Gear up.
Singapore 634. Welcome to Tokyo. Contact ground on 122.075.
Contact ground on 122.075, Singapore 634. Thank you. Good day.
All Nippon 556, contact departure on 119.1.
Switching to departure on 119.1. All Nippon 556.
All right, landing lights can be retracted.
Tokyo departure, all Nippon 556. Morning, climbing past 500.
All Nippon 556, Tokyo departure, radar contact. Climb 1000, turn left heading 260. Vectors to Haneda, Tokyo. Tenants filed.
Okay, so that's not working. That's awesome.
Climb 1000. Left heading 260. Vectors to HME, then as filed. All Nippon 556.
556, climb flight level 160.
Up 260, climb and maintain level 160, all Nippon 556. If I have to hand fly this thing the whole time, now why isn't that working? Worked in every test flight that I did. Gotta sort this out. There's the city on the bridges.
120.6 for all Nippon 53. Departure, Japan Air 6252, 2000 for 4000.
Tokyo's huge. It's getting stutters.
625, radar contact, climb and maintain 7000.
Up to 7000, Japan Air 625.
Wow, hopefully I don't crash. That was a pretty big stutter. Flaps up. Let's power back a little bit. So you're going to want to put these in climb power. Well, I don't have them in high power.
Contact Tokyo departure on 120.6.
120.6 for Japan Air 625.
Departure Japan Air 661 2000 for 4000.
Japan Air 661, radar contact, climb and maintain 9000.
Up to 9000, Japan Air 661.
Thai Ocean 182 contact, Tokyo Tower on 118.1.
Over to Tokyo Tower on 118.1, Jai Ocean 182.
Japan Air 661 contact Tokyo.
I wonder if I had a Wasp plane.
120.6.
Why isn't that working?
120.6 for Japan Air 661.
Departure all Nippon 561 2000 for 4000.
All Nippon 561, radar contact, climb and maintain 8000.
Up to 8000, all Nippon 561.
I don't know about this one, guys.
561, contact Tokyo departure on 120.6.
I did about 4 test flights with this thing, and it all worked perfectly. That's why I decided to show you guys.
Only Nippon 556, I need you at flight level 160, sir. Japan Air 140, contact Tokyo Tower on 118.1.
118.1 for Japan Air 140.
Departure Japan Air 201 2000 for 4000.
Somewhere.
Japan Air 201, radar contact, climb and maintain 3000.
Up to 3000, Japan Air 201.
Japan Air 201, contact Tokyo departure on 120.6.
120.6,
That
Japan
button
Air
works.
201.
That one doesn't work.
All Nippon 50, contact Tokyo Tower on 118.1.
118.1 for all Nippon 50. Departure all Nippon 641 2000 for 4000.
All Nippon 641, radar contact, climb and maintain 7000.
Up to 7000, all Nippon 641.
Japan Air 201, contact Center Air Tower on 118.8 fever.
118.85
Let's try this one.
Japan Air 201.
All Nippon 641, contact Tokyo departure on 120.6.
120.6 for all Nippon 641. Good day.
All Nippon 632, contact Tokyo Tower on 118.1.
Switching to Tokyo Tower on 118.1, all Nippon 632.
departure, Japan Air 231 2000 for 4000.
Japan Air 231, radar contact. Climb and maintain 7000.
Up to 7000, Japan Air 231.
All Nippon 79 Air 2, contact Tokyo Tower on 118.1.
118.1 for all Nippon 79er 2. Good day.
Departure Skymark 705 2000 for 4000.
Skymark 705, radar contact. Climb and maintain 6000.
6000, Skymark 705.
Japan Air 231, contact Tokyo departure on 120.6.
Switching to Tokyo departure on 120.6, Japan Air 231.
All Nippon 677 at 2000 for 4000. Climbing to flight level 190, turning right heading 310 for the vectors to cira, then on navigation.
All right, well, this is ending up being a bust, guys.
All Nippon 677, climb flight level 200.
Climbing to flight level 200, all Nippon 677.
Skymark 705, contact Tokyo departure on 120.6.
Switching to Tokyo departure on 120.6, Skymark 705.
Here's what we're going to do. So I think we have
Departure
a
Japan Air 373 2000 for
failure,
4000.
and I don't want to end the
Japan Air
stream, so we're going to
373,
restart
radar contact. Climb and maintain
the
8000.
flight.
Climb
And we're
8000,
going to
Japan
start
Air
all set
373.
up on the runway, ready to go, because it's a default plane, so it'll give us that. Sorry about that one, guys, but I was just going to hand fly that thing all the way for an hour. There you go, you get a little shot of the night lighting. Alright, let's see if that worked. There we go. Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a glitch, a little failure there. Alright. Let's see if I could get my... Alright, so the autopilot worked. Let's tune this radio in. We got 109.2. And 6.5. .256 on the heading. All right, let's get out of here. We're already behind schedule, right? Takeoff power set. It'll help if I release the brakes. There's V1. Rotate. How's the rate gear up? All right, now we're in business, right? All right. Flaps up. Just trim it out. Yeah, I have no idea what that was or what caused that. It had to be some kind of WASM glitch. Sobo doing a Sobo things. Cruise down the harbor here.
Lufthansa 714. Contact Tokyo Tower on 118.1.
Contact Tokyo Tower on 118.1. Lufthansa 714, goodbye.
So, you put these back for climb. Be helpful if it was key bindable. Maybe it'll be an update. Heading. That's working. Good deal. All right. So we'll just dead reckon down to our first waypoint. Let's check to see what we got here. 1265. And then the next one is going to be 17, so we'll put that over here. $17.8.
Departure, Skymark 303 2000 for 4000. Skymark 303 radar contact. Climb and maintain 11, 1000.
Departure, Al Nippon 556. Like to pick up our IFR. That all reset too.
Nippon 556, Tokyo departure cleared to center. Direct Yokosuka, then as filed squawk 5244 and ident. All Nippon 556, Tokyo departure radar contact. 9 miles west of Kisarazu at 96000 feet. Kisarazu QNH 29.74. Cleared direct Yokosuka.
Cleared to Centrair. Direct HID, then as filed. Squawk 5244 and ident. All Nippon 556. Cleared direct HID. Kisarazu QNH 2974, all Nippon 556.
Skymark 303 contact Tokyo departure on 120.6.
120.6 for Skymark 303. Good day.
Departure Air China 184 2000 for 4000.
Air China 184, radar contact. Climb and maintain 13-3000.
Up to 13-3000 Air China 184.
Star Flyer 3821 contact Tokyo departure on 120.6.
120.6, Starflyer 3821.
This definitely would be glitching out while I do a live stream, right?
Air China 184 contact Tokyo departure on 120.6.
120.6 for Air China 184.
We gone a little too high.
All Nippon 556.
Trying to figure out these stupid things.
Expect to descend in about 20 minutes.
Expecting the Ultim's arrival. Will anticipate descent in about 20 minutes. All Nippon 556.
All Nippon 556. Expect the ILS Yankee runway 36 approaching to center.
Expecting the ILS Yankee runway 36 approach into Centrair. All Nippon 556.
Really should be picking this one up. All right, let's try 1092. Okay, so it's working on this side. This thing's not working. This is very frustrating, guys. I'm sorry. It's like the whole thing crashed.
Japan Air 3, contact Tokyo Tower on 118.1.
Contact Tokyo Tower on 118.1, Japan Air 3.
Whole thing has glitched out. I think we got it working again. So what I did was I had to put it in GPS. Switch it so that the GPS is shut off. All right, let's track. All that garbage I have to. I've been bouncing around my altitude. Okay, I think we're back in business. So the whole thing glitched out when I reset, or when I reloaded the plane. It reloaded like everything, like my navigraph is no longer available
on 118.1.
So I had to turn on the GPS and make sure it was on VLOC because it was on GPS in the system. Safe entry. You'd want it 5244. Let's see. All right, we've got that sorted out, guys. Let's go up to 16,000 where we're supposed to be. And what's our heading course supposed to be here? It is 556. It's tracking. There's 16,000. Bring that up a little bit. Set the pitch down. $16,000. All right. Wow. Talk about Microsoft really trying to prove me wrong, man.
6, contact Tokyo Tower on 118.1.
Contact 118.1 tonight, 516.
Honestly, I do so stuff like this. I do test flights so that I make sure that I'm not like telling you stuff that's, you know, off the wall or wrong. So I took this thing for 4 test flights, guys, and it worked flawlessly every time. I don't know what happened, but looks like we got it all sorted out. We're tracking RVOR now. So climb power in this thing is the same as cruise power. So when you set your climb power and climb out at 200 knots, you keep that power in. When you level out, it should just settle in right where it's supposed to be. All right, let's check out the cabin. Actually, this is something I haven't done, guys.
Ready for clearance to Manchester.
Clearance on request. Stand by.
Speed
So there's supposed to be passengers.
I am working on that clearance. Stand by.
It was good. Cargo was supposed to be 1,500. Go. Yeah, so we got passengers. Which is pretty cool, except a lot of twins. A lot of twins here. The most historical amount of twins in the world. We got a toilet. Sink. Nice touch Japanese and English. Even all have the same haircut.
The clearance is silent. 463, request the clearance is silent.
I'll have your clearance in just a second.
Clean that up. We don't need the inspection light on. Move about the cabin. Turn the window heat on low. All that, and we missed Mount Fuji, guys. We missed Mount Fuji. Ah. Fuji's back here.
Korean Air 719er. Contact Tokyo Tower on 118.1.
Over the tower at 118.1. Korean Air 719.
so let's, now that we got the nav radios working, let's set this up for our flight. So the next one is going to be 17.8. All right, we're all good now. Wish it would have went off like this in the beginning, but can't win them all, right guys? Can't win them all. That's what I get for using a default plane. All in all, generally, it works really well. So, or I should say, works really well because it didn't work for us. But for the price point, if we can figure out the glitches and it's not completely broken, we had to reset it. What are you going to do, right? We're going to be coming in 3.6, so let's get that chart up. So.
Direct to Lanxas, Cathay 543, heavy.
Cathay 543, climb flight level 340.
Climb via the SID to flight level 250, United 48 heavy, sorry.
Delta 275, contact Tokyo Tower on 118.1.
Over to Tokyo Tower, Delta 275 heavy.
So we're going on to the next one. So it's 17. Eight.
Delta 295. Contact Tokyo Tower on 118.1.
Switching to Tokyo Tower on 118.1. Delta 295, have a good day.
Final one is going to be 25. So yeah, so everything's got screwed up. ATC screwed up, but it is what it is. Yeah, I had to do that whole reset, so. On 09 at Kobe. In 1-5 for ILS approach. As you can see, the cabin is all pressurized. Pressurized as soon as I think the way when it leaves the ground, it starts to pressurize. Put our decision altitude in. Minimums are 200. if you haven't already, you can hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, help us out. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I really appreciate you guys' support for watching the channel. So thank you very much.
Flight level 360, on Nippon 537.
All Nippon 537. Contact Tokyo Control on 132.3.
132 decimal. Flight level 360, on Nippon 537.
All Nippon 537. Contact Tokyo Control on 132.3.
132.3, on Nippon 537.
I'll get our IFR clearance from Tokyo information.
Yeah, because that got screwed up.
Tokyo info, all Nippon 556, requesting our IFR clearance, please.
I hear you. 1 sec. Land and veer.
At 16,000, we're actually technically we are VFR, so still legal, even though we climbed up through the clouds to get here. About 34 minutes in the air, so until we get to our destination. What do you guys think about Microsoft Flight Simulator coming to PlayStation 5? Let me know. Let me know in the chat or the comments, guys. I mean, it's good that bring more people into the fold. You know, not everyone has an Xbox. Not everyone's going to run out and buy an Xbox. But I just don't know anything about the programming for PlayStation 5, but I know that when Microsoft brought it into Xbox and created the whole awesome thing, which you needed to run the system on Xbox. It caused a lot more problems for the system. So that was Sim Update 5, I believe, of Microsoft 2020, and it didn't integrate well. And I know a lot of the Xbox guys have a lot of problems with the sim, so I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work out. So this is our destination DME. So we're about 118 miles from our destination, 40 miles from our next waypoint.
Maintaining VFR. All Nippon 556.
All Nippon 556. Hamamatsu departure. Roger, maintaining VFR. Advise if ISR clearance or assistance needed.
This whole thing's screwed up.
All Nippon 556. Hamamatsu departure. Radar contact. 10 miles northwest of Hamamatsu at flight level 160. Hamamatsu QNH 29.74. Clear direct tube view. IL start your descent in about 10 minutes.
Maintaining VFR. Will advise if IFR clearance or assistance is needed. All Nippon 556.
All Nippon 556. Expect the ILS Yankee runway 9 approach into Okeechobee.
Expecting the ILS Yankee runway 9er approach into Okeechobee. All Nippon 556.
Cathay 539er. Contact Tokyo Control on 132 decimal. 3.
This is going to be the let's fix the sim stream. So we got this working now, and it looks like I got sim or say intentions back up and running again. Oh, it's not Okeechobee, though. I don't know what that is. It's Kobe. Yeah, sorry guys about last week, but when I was getting ready to stream, the day before I started streaming, I hurt my knee because I'm old, and I couldn't actually use the rudder pedals, so therefore it killed the streams. But I feel better. Knee's a little stiff, so hopefully I don't have to crab right. But everything's back and working, and we're back in the sim. So
contact Tokyo departure on 120.6.
I do notice a little bit of a frame hit on this. Inibuilds is notorious for not optimizing their system or their planes, as we all know about the A350. But it's not terrible. As you can see, I kind of can move around smoothly. I'm not getting any stutters, knock on wood. Shouldn't test the sim gods. But I got this livery off of Inibuilds website. They're only available for 2024 though. I mean, it would help if I So, you know, get a little better frame rates if I shut my camera off. I mean, I've got a lot of things going. I mean, it's around, when I'm not streaming, I was getting maybe with frame gen on, I was getting closer to 70 frames. With, when, you know, streaming, everything running, I'm closer to 60. But as long as we're smooth, I'm not caring too much about frames. It really is a flight sim thing. If 30 frames is smooth, then what does it matter? You don't need to. It's not Call of Duty. You don't need that reaction that, you know, where the difference between, you know, 30 and 120 frames means you're going to get that kill before the next guy. So the flap schedule, approach flaps are 20, and then when we're on short final, we bring it down to, we slowly bring it into 35. Approach speed is 120 knots. And she slows down pretty quick. So after this stream, we're going to take the A306 down from Philadelphia down to Bermuda. That was recently updated, so we're going to check that one out. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself, because it's another one that I have problems with in the sim, but just like this one, test flight went well, so we'll give it a shot. That one we're going to use Beyond ATC for our air traffic control. And one of these days we'll get back on the VAT sim. So we're approaching our next fix. And I love that we have to stream the cockpit, right? Which is funny because I actually downloaded this plane. So I don't know why it's still streaming. So 111.25. Let's go heading. That's going to be heading 269. And we'll track that. The descent profile should be anywhere between 1,000 and 1,500 feet, from what I read. We do a quick calculation with that. So 16,000 down to 1,000 for a difference of 13,000. .39 nautical miles out should be our descent. We'll up that to 40. So we should actually be starting down pretty soon. And we'll load in. Okay. So we'll start down at about 30 miles. It tracks pretty well, you'd say. I think it tracks just a little too well. Yeah, it captures it a little too hard, but I think that's just to make it simple. Like I said, it's not any kind of study level, so. I don't mind that too much. I could see myself doing some pretty cool things in this plane, so I like it. So our ILS, so it doesn't have any kind of standby. You have to utilize the nav2. Just to keep it a reference as to what our next frequency is. But so ILS, so this thing originally didn't do a coupled ILS approach, but as it says in the manual, Inibuilds decided to simplify things for the simmer using this.
When you're ready to begin your descent, descent altitude 12,000. QNH 29.77.
And
descending to 12,000 when ready. QNH 29.
When you hit the loc button, which is used for approach, it'll couple. So you could do a couple ILS approach just to make things simpler. Is what what their reasoning was. So the way this autopilot works, so you have heading, you have nav track, you have approach, and you have altitude hold. It doesn't have a auto capture. So when you climb up, you have to make sure that when you get close to your altitude, you adjust your pitch, which is this knob right here, slowing your ascent so that you could just, when you reach the altitude, you just hit the out button. I have some components bound to my wind wing, so I could just hit that, so I don't have to keep looking down. So the way this works is so if you engage one of these lateral navigation items, it'll hold the last pitch that you held. So if you're in the climb out and you hit heading, it's going to stay in that climb out. Then you can make some adjustments, but you have to click this first. I found a lot of times that if this button won't work if one of these are pressed. I don't know if that's just a glitch, because it seems to want to work at other times, so I think it's just glitched out. Like I said, there are bugs.
Descending to altitude 3000. All Nippon 556.
Let's head down. Been up here long enough. So I'll just pitch down for 1,000 and we'll power back just a little bit. So in order with speed, the VNE speeds adjust by altitude. There's a little chart here. So up where we're at, we don't want to go faster than 233, which we're vastly approaching. So we're going to just keep power back until we try to bring it back down to 200. So the area around Kobe, I think, was part of the update, but the airport wasn't. And so as we go down too, it's gonna, come up faster and faster until, our never exceed speed will increase. But that's a little chart you wanna make sure that. Because there's no barber pole, so that's why there's a chart there.
All Nippon 556, descend altitude 2500.
Descending to altitude 2500. All Nippon 556.
All Nippon 556. Contact center departure on 119.175.
Contacting Centre departure on 119.175. All Nippon 556.
So it's a little different with these because these have so the landing lights extend into the slipstream, and I actually have a speed limit on these, which is 164. So just because we pass 10,000 feet, if we're not at 164, we can't extend the landing lights. So they generally didn't put them on at the time.
Identified. Ohayou gozaimasu. Okay, Toby QNH 29.83.
QNH 2983. All Nippon 556.
We'll just keep powering back. Just make sure we don't go past that that barber pole or that max speed. And it holds pitch pretty solid, which it should wander. It's not that accurate. It's not supposed to be that accurate. So if you want super accurate, a super accurate flight, systems flight, it's not going to work with this plane. The systems have been simplified. It's it's a pay where default plane. I think it normally retails at $19.99. They had an entry release at $12, so I paid for it. I don't know if that's because I have the Aviators pack, because I know 2020 had that going on, that if you had their full package, you got discounts. But I do know the regular price for this plane is $19.99. And if you guys don't mind some systems not working or not modeled, some bugs that are more of annoyance, like I said,
Nippon
it's
145.
all in all generally not a bad plane. It's got its faults, but for $19.99, is it worth it? Not $19.99. Is it worth it for $12? Yeah. But it's fun enough that if you could spare the $20, then I would say go ahead.
Radar on 120.85. All Nippon 556.
All right, so I was passing 10,000. So let's get the seatbelt signs
Kansai
off.
radar.
Extinguish
All
your
Nippon
cigarettes.
556. Morning. Descending from 11,000 to 2500.
Some serious stutters there. Come on, Sim, hold it together.
All Nippon 556 Kansai radar identified. Good morning, Okeechobee QNH 29.83.
QNH 2983. All Nippon 556.
Descending to altitude 4,000 feet, turn left heading 075 for vectors for the visual runway 27, Lufthansa 574.
Hold it together.
Lufthansa 574, descend altitude 3000.
Not liking that.
Descending to 3,000 feet altitude, Lufthansa 574.
Not liking that. Shut off. Too many stutters. Shutting off the camera. Shutting off the music. I don't want the sim to crash. I don't know why that's happening. All right. Stay together. I think it's the scenery.
Turn right heading 055, descend 3,000 feet until established, cleared for the ILS, for the visual runway 14 right approach. All Nippon 7 Papa Foxtrot.
All Nippon 7 Papa Foxtrot. Contact Osaka Tower on 118.1.
Osaka Tower 118.1, all Nippon 7 Papa Foxtrot.
Frequency, there's no one listening on 120.5.
Right. We're going to kind of vector ourselves into the downwind. So that's our airport right out in front of us. And if the sim crashes, I'll see you guys at 3 o'clock.
Departure Japan Air 2383 2000 for 4000.
So they're not going to give us any
Japan
vectors.
Air 2383, radar contact, climb and maintain 7000.
Up to 7000, Japan Air 2383.
Japan Air 2383, contact Kansai radar on 125.5.
125.5 for Japan Air 2383.
All right, let's get the flight recorder up. And we get our ILS in, which is 1095. Just double check that. 10915. And that's going to be 92 on the course.
All Nippon 556, traffic at your 12 o'clock, 3 miles, same altitude Embraer 170.
Departure Skymark 589er 2000 for 4000.
Skymark 589er, radar contact, climb and maintain 10,000.
Climb 10,000, Skymark 589er.
Skymark 589er, contact Kansai radar on 125.5.
125.5 for Skymark 589er.
Yeah, so it's the detail of the city of Kobe. It's causing the stutters.
Juliet Alpha 9er 2, radar contact, altitude restrictions cancelled, maintain.
There's our airport.
Climb 14,000, Juliet Alpha 9er 2. Japan Air 2050, contact Osaka Tower on 118.1.
Fingers crossed, hold it together.
118.1.
Sim, don't fail me now.
2050.
Juliet Alpha 9er 2, contact Kansai radar on 125.5.
125.5 for Juliet Alpha Niner 2. Good day.
All Nippon 556, traffic at your 12 o'clock 3 miles at 2500 citation.
All right, they want us down to 2500.
Departure Juliet Alpha Tree Niner 88 2000 for 4000.
Juliet Alpha Tree Niner 88, radar contact, climb and maintain 6000.
Up to 6000, Juliet Alpha Tree Niner 88.
Alpha 3988, contact Kansai radar on 125.5.
125.5 for Juliet Alpha Tree Niner 88.
There's 2500, so we'll capture that.
All Nippon 556, turn right heading 295 vectors for the ILS runway 9er approach.
Right heading 295 for the ILS runway 9er approach. All Nippon 556.
Yeah, all right, get some vectors. All right. Let's see how Say Intentions does. Be honest with you, I'm ready to shut that off because I think it's one of the causes of my problems right now.
Departure Skymark 152 2000 for 4000.
Skymark 152, radar contact, climb and maintain 6000.
Up to 6000, Skymark 152.
Skymark 152, contact Kansai radar on 125.5.
Switching to Kansai radar on 125.5. Skymark 152.
All right, where are we going? So supposedly it's vectoring us for traffic.
Departure Skymark 171 2000 for 4000.
Skymark 171, radar contact, climb and maintain 12 2000.
So set up for the landing. So these come forward for landing, so we have full power for go around.
Nippon 5556, turn left heading 240.
Left heading 240. All Nippon 556.
Switching to Kansai radar on 125.5.
Skymark 171.
Skymark
So it's going to start bringing us around.
118.7 for Skymark 152. Good day.
All Nippon 556, 6 miles from COG. Turn left heading 170 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 9 approach.
Left heading 170 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 9 approach. All Nippon 556.
5,000. Only for 145. Climb up to 5,000 feet. Only for 145.
All right. So with the photogrammetry update, they updated the bridges because I'm sure that had that Asobo solid look to it before. I haven't been to this area before. All right, we are slow enough for the landing lights, so extend them. They can come on.
Skymark 171 contact Cheetos Tower on 118.8.
Make a little bit of a shallower intercept.
Skymark 171. Good day.
We're definitely low enough.
556 contact
Put that on
Okeechobee Tower
approach.
on 118.5.
Contacting Okeechobee Tower on 118.5. All Nippon 556.
It's not Okeechobee.
Kobe Tower. All Nippon 556.
Kobe.
Morning. We're established on the ILS approach for runway 9er.
All Nippon 556, Kobe Tower, roger. Continue approach.
Flaps
Lufthansa
15.
574. Contact departure.
Contact departure, Lufthansa 574.
Ava 3223. Welcome to Okeechobee. Contact ground on 122.075.
Flaps 20. You're out. And recorder on. And our runway's in sight.
All Nippon 556, Kobe Tower, wind 300 at 8. Runway 9er cleared to land.
Cleared to land runway 9er. All Nippon 556.
Go flaps 30.
Juliet Alpha 2324, holding short of 09er, ready for takeoff.
Juliet Alpha 2324, winds 300 at 8. Runway 09er cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff.
It looks like we're going to have a little bit of a tailwind.
RYU 123, turn left heading 320.
Turn left heading 320. Onto C.
Everything's looking good. Landing lights on. Flaps 35 to go. Gear down. And we're right on our approach speed. Just a little more flat, a little more power. Bump it up just a little bit so that when we dump flaps 35, it doesn't go down too much.
Juliet Alpha 232.
Flaps full.
Contact departure. Good day.
Departure for Juliet Alpha 2324.
All right, runway in sight. Autopilot off. My plane. Back. A little low, but we're visual. All right, we're over the numbers. And we are down. Welcome to Kobe.
All Nippon 556. Contact ground on 122.075.
Switching to ground on 122.075. All Nippon 556.
That was a little firm. So I stalled it right at the end there.
Kobe ground, all Nippon 556. Cleared of runway 9er, ready to taxi to the gate. Good morning.
Shut the lights off.
All Nippon 556. Kobe ground. Taxi to gate 3 via Tango 4 Papa 4. Good day.
Taxi to gate 3 via Tango 4 Papa 4. All Nippon 556.
So is that 1, 2, 3? We're going to go to this gate here.
Juliet Alpha 730. 7 contact tower on 118.5.
Over to tower, Juliet Alpha 7307.
Clearance on request. Stand by.
Cleared to Osaka. After departure, fly radar vectors to T201 Juliet. Then as filed, departure runway 27. Initial climb to 5,000 feet.
Oh, park brake on. All right, welcome to the airport, guys.
Squawk will be 6622. All Nippon.
So just to go over the shutdown procedure would be you would bring these back to fuel cutoff. You would kill the pumps, kill the generators, turn off the seatbelt signs, and then you would get it on ground power, and you'd be
over to tower.
You'd be shut down.
So,
but I'm going to leave it on because I'm not entirely sure how the
Juliet Alpha Tree 80 Tree ready to taxi.
The replay is going to work. But let's check out that landing. Let's see how firm that landing
Runway
was.
9 taxi via Whiskey 2, Papa, Tango 1, Juliet Alpha Tree 80 Tree.
Juliet Alpha 2376, contact tower on 118.5.
Switching to tower, Juliet Alpha 2376.
No, Volanta didn't record the flight. That's awesome.
Tokyo ground, all Nippon 737 cleared to Tokyo Haneda via the Mochi 1 departure, then as filed, departure runway 9, initial climb to 4,000 feet, departure on 120.85, squawk 2126.
Let's kill ATC. All right, so let's wind it back. Let's check out the replay. Yeah, we'll wind it forward. Did come in pretty low. Yeah, that was a little hard. Probably didn't need to flare so much. All right, guys. So that's going to be it for the stream. I'm going to wind it back. To watch the full approach, and thanks everyone for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We got another stream coming at 3 o'clock. I'm actually going to move that forward to 3:30 Eastern time so I can grab some lunch. But it's going to be the Airbus A306 UPS flight from Philadelphia to Bermuda, if you want to check that out. And yeah, that's going to be it. So, I want to thank everyone for the support, and on to the next one, guys. This is Virtual Flight Diaries. My name is John. See you.